As we get closer and closer to Canelo versus Crawford fight night in September, I just can't help but think this is going to surprise a lot of people, you know, this performance from Terence Crawford, because I know everybody's saying he didn't even look good at 54, so how is he going to look good against Canelo coming up multiple weight classes, going up to 168, where Canelo's the one that's been there before. Terence Crawford hasn't been there before. You know, there are weight classes for a reason, this and that. And I'll tell you why. Because Canelo isn't Madrimov. You know what I mean? Like, Terence Crawford, the performance that he had against Errol Spence, that was probably his best performance we've ever seen from Terence Crawford. Definitely wasn't his most difficult fight. You know, I'm not saying, you know, on paper, maybe on paper, Spence was the most difficult fight for Terence Crawford. But when we saw that fight, that was not competitive at all. And you're talking, you know, this was supposed to be a 50 fight. The betting, all the bookies had it 50-50, right? Some people even had Terence Crawford as the underdog. And for him to pull off a performance like that, sometimes that's what you get when you see the best versus the best, and they haven't been fighting each other for years. You know, things change. Maybe at first it was a 50-50 fight and things go like this. You know, Tank said something very interesting to me. Tank was telling me how he didn't think that Errol Spence was 100%. So even with that said, you know, you got to give Terence Crawford some credit, you know, for beating Errol Spence, but Earl maybe wasn't the best version of himself. I know that sounds like I'm taking away from him, but I think that's facts. You know, it doesn't take away from the fact that Terence Crawford beat the crap out of Errol Spence and then went on to beat Madrimov. Madrimov not being, you know, the best aging win, as he got beat by Virgil Ortiz recently, right? So how good is Terence Crawford actually? We're going to have to see against Canelo Alvarez, but he's definitely pound for pound number 1, number 2, or number 3. It's got to be, you know, Inoue up there, Usyk up there, but Terence Crawford's right there. This guy still hasn't lost. He's been at the top of his game for basically a decade now, maybe more, but he's beaten everybody. And, you know, at 147, just because you have a poor performance at your debut fight at 154 doesn't take away from the fact that, you know, you're still a very skilled fighter. And against Canelo Alvarez, I think Terence Crawford could do a number on Canelo Alvarez. That's just my opinion. I think Canelo could look embarrassed against Terence Crawford, because let's say Crawford's on point, you know, he doesn't engage with Canelo, he doesn't allow him to get him against the rope. You know, this is the kind of fight where Terence Crawford can't afford to get put into a corner or put up against the ropes against a guy like Canelo, because that's when he's most dangerous. If you make Canelo work, make him go after you, and your feet are faster than his, you know, like, that's where Terence Crawford can shine in this fight. The hand speed, the combination, and the IQ. You know, it's not like Terence Crawford doesn't hit hard. We know he hits hard, but obviously with him going up in weight, you know, the biggest concern is he going to be able to gain the respect of Canelo Alvarez? I know he has the hand speed, you know, and the foot speed, but when he hits Canelo, is Canelo going to get affected, or is Canelo going to eat those shots and come forward? If he comes forward and, you know, can eat every shot that Terence Crawford gives him and can chase him down properly and land his own shots, then we're going to see potentially Terence Crawford get stopped. But I think that Terence Crawford has the intelligence and the quickness in terms of the lateral foot movement to get away from Canelo Alvarez, to move around the ring and be smart and not to engage in a firefight. If Terence Crawford engages in a firefight, I just don't see how he beats Canelo, because I don't see Terence Crawford stopping Canelo, but I could see him winning a decision. You know, that's a very possible outcome that a lot of people aren't, you know, counting into play because of the weight difference. And I know there's a weight difference, but when was the last time somebody fought Canelo and was fast? You know, it was like Floyd. You know, that was the fastest fighter compared to Terence Crawford, you know, was Floyd. So if you look at Canelo's opponents, this is a difficult fight for Canelo. You know, at this point in Canelo's career, yeah, he's younger than Terence Crawford. Canelo's the bigger fighter. Terence is a lighter fighter, is what I meant to say, and he's going up in weight. So it's just, everything looks bad on paper in favor of Canelo to beat Terence Crawford, but people aren't thinking about, you know, the speed, you know, how Terence Crawford's weight, if he puts it on correctly, I think it could be a really interesting fight. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Terence is definitely going to beat Canelo, but I think he has a better chance than what people are saying. But, you know, Canelo's probably going to be the favorite. He's definitely going to be the heavy favorite when it comes to the the betting odds, but I still feel like Canelo, you know, he's gonna have to chase Terence Crawford down at moments, and if Terence Crawford can frustrate Canelo and use his speed, I think there's a chance he embarrasses Canelo. I honestly believe that, especially if Canelo doesn't have, you know, the gas tank that he tends to not have. You know, we've seen him get tired in fights before. When was last time he got a stoppage, and then you're telling me he's gonna stop Bud? I think Bud's just too competitive. I think it's a really close fight, a good fight. You know, Canelo's obviously the favorite, but I really think that Terence Crawford can pull off the upset. But let me know down below what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. But thank you guys once again, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.